Welcome to my channel, Acheno Gola the lawyer, Karibuni Sana, and today we are going to be talking about virtual court etiquette. Now we know with the raging pandemic, we have had to move to virtual court systems, and we realize that advocates have somehow slackened in maintaining the various etiquette that they were taught or the Advocates Act prescribes. So today we are going to learn about virtual court etiquette so that you can be able to maintain the good standing that we had previously. If you enjoy the video, like, share, and subscribe. So thank you so much, Madam Christine, for joining us in today's video, and I'm glad to have you once again. It's always a pleasure. So maybe you could introduce yourself to my viewers before we proceed.
Thank you, Julie. I'm Christine Kipsang. I'm an advocate in private practice. I have 20 years post-admission, and I love litigation. And you all know that in litigation you have to go to the courts, deal with clients, deal with witnesses, and other lawyers. So I'm here to talk about court etiquette.
Thank you so much, Madam Christine. Today maybe you could start by explaining to the viewers what is etiquette in basic terms.
Etiquette is the accepted behavior or conduct that is required of a person in a particular area. Let's say in the legal profession, we have the professional ethics and etiquette that is prescribed so that we can be able to maintain a certain kind of behavior, a certain kind of standards that will result in accepted behavior within the legal profession.
Okay, thank you. So maybe now we could now go to court etiquette. Previously, before the pandemic came, what were the certain court etiquette being observed by advocates, especially litigation advocates who used to go to court? Like we could just maybe name a few so that we can familiarize our viewers with what court etiquette is.
Court etiquette is what is the accepted behavior within the courts, and one of them is the issue of getting to court when you are ready, so that when you enter a courtroom, you are supposed to bow, and bowing shows that you are entering a respected place, you are entering a place that you hold in honor, and a place that you will be able to have the freedom to express yourself without any interruption. So the first thing that you require in a court is silence, so that once you get into a courtroom, you can't get into a courtroom pulling bags or pulling luggage and making a lot of noise. A court is a place that when you are going in, you're supposed to be already mentally prepared that you are getting into a place where silence is required. So the first thing you do is to bow before the court, and you take your seat in the respective place, because in a courtroom you will find there's a place for the judge, and then there's another place for the clerk, and then the front row is usually for advocates, the senior advocate, and then the second row is for advocates who are like my peers, and then the other row is for young advocates, and the fourth row is for law students and those who are undertaking pupillage, and then the rest of the public are in the other rows. So, and then on the side you may find there's a counter where the accused person or the ones who will take the witness stand will be sitting, and then there's also the witness stand. So that is the description I can give of a courtroom. And then the other part of an accepted behavior in the court is once you come to court again, you have to maintain your position, as in you sit in the particular place you have been, so that you do not interrupt people by moving around. In a courtroom, you're not expected to move around unless there's a purpose for the reason you are moving around. So the first required issue is for you to be seated, waiting for the court to begin. At the same time, you come prepared with the documents so that you do not start flipping documents in court and making noise to the rest of the people who are already in court. The other accepted behavior is about time management. You need to have a watch when you are coming to court so that you can be able to know that by 8:30 to 8:45 you should be already be seated, because the court starts at 9. So having a watch like I am having is very important to check the time, so that when you get into the courtroom you are able to know that I will be using my watch to deal with the matter that is before the court. So checking time is very important. Maintaining time allocated in the court. You know, court sometimes have time allocation for particular matters. So it's very important that you also have a watch when you are going to court, so that you can be able to know the time you allocated. If the matter has been called out and you have been told it will start at 10, do not come at 10:10. Come at 10 o'clock so that you can be able to proceed with your matter at that particular time. Another accepted behavior is respect in court and giving honor for everybody in that courtroom, starting with the judge. And the honor that you give the judge is, once you come in and maybe the court is already in session, you're supposed to bow and take your seat quietly. Again, because the sessions in court in Kenya, you have to find the judge's writing. You are expected to maintain silence so that the court can be able to listen to the particular person who is addressing the court, and they are able to write the correct information in the court record, because every court is a court of record. So when you are coming into a court and the court is in session, you are supposed to keep quiet. Then again, about respect and honor that you are supposed to give to the court is that once you are asked a question, again, you are supposed to rise up quietly and address the court in the particular issue you have been asked. Again, you are not supposed to interrupt the other person unless there's an emergency, you know, sort of. But you are supposed to allow the other person to speak until he has finished, and then you say, Your Honor, could I please say something? And you know, the accepted behavior is, when you are addressing the court, is you say, Your Honor, my Lord, my Lady, Your Lord. And in terms of referring to advocates, you have to say, my learned friend, or if you are in a person, you know, like a Kenyan who does not have an advocate, you say lawyer so and so is acting for so and so. And so it's very important you refer to people to using the titles that are acceptable in court, so that you do not say this one or that one. You should be able to say Your Honor, lawyer so and so, counsel so and so. And then if it's advocates, especially the young advocates, you need to embrace the terminologies that we have in the legal profession, where you say my Lord, Your Honor, my learned friend. Yes, in that order. And also, if somebody is in acting in person, you have to say Mr. Joroke acting in person. Oh. So it's very important that you embrace the kind of terminologies that is used in court, so that you can be able to address the court, at the same time communicate to the court. Okay. Then the other bit is about preparation. When you're going to court, you are expected to really know your file and know your matter. And as much as some people sit in court to listen to other people's matters, when your matter is called, you should be already prepared, so that you can be able to address the court on the particular issue that has taken you to court. So you should not go to court and start listening to other people's claims. When your matter is called, you are like absent-minded. You should always be alert, focused on your matter. And I always advise clients, or even law students and pupils, that it's very important to write it down. You should have a notebook and a pen and write down exactly what you want to go tell the court before you can step out of your office or your house. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for that. And also maybe you could talk about now dressing in court, because we see now with the virtual courts, now you know some people don't dress from head to toe in the appropriate dressing. What could you say was the practice previously and now then?
Okay, well, in terms of dressing, the dress code, we under Law Society, we already have a LSK code of ethics that we have, and dressing is one of the issues that has been emphasized for a very long time. We have to wear black clothes. Like, you cannot wear what I'm wearing today, a red, you know, stripes, or, you know, a red blouse or a red trouser or a red jacket. Things that are shouting, you're not supposed to wear them. So you need to have black suits, gray suits, dark green, dark brown, you know, gray, navy blue, dark blue. So it's very important that you dress in that manner, because in a court it's supposed to be a solemn place where you have had those cases out there, these disputes, but when you bring them, you should be able to have somebody keenly listen without interruption of these bright colors or things distracting the particular court assistant or court judge who is supposed to determine your matter. And so with COVID, the way it has come, of course, right now we do not have an open court where you can go. You are supposed, again, to be mindful that the fact that the court has gone virtual, it does not mean that now you can be careless in the way you approach the court, or less honorable. But it's very important you wear the right clothes. Of course, many advocates, we have the advocate shirt, the barrister's shirt that is always have a collar. It's, my desire is to see every advocate wearing that shirt and the collar, and then now a jacket and a trouser or a skirt, so that you look presentable, somebody appearing in the screen, because right now we are in Microsoft Teams application, we are in Zoom application, we are in GoToMeeting application. Sometimes when you log in as a guest, nobody knows who is who. But if all advocates wear that collar, it will be very important that the court is able to identify who is an advocate and who is a witness and who is the litigant. So it's very important, the dress code. It's very, very important. And we have seen again situations where people sort of come as imposters. So it's important when you are recording you're coming for that and knowing that it will be recorded, you wear the correct tag, and also in the login you write your name. You write your name and you write advocate, or you write the law firm that you are coming from, because we do not want, as Law Society, to have imposters, somebody saying I am so and so and they are not. Because you see, once you dress properly, you will be able to also put on your video. It's very important you put on your videos, because the court wants to know actually who is appearing before the court. Because right now, for example, if you just write your name as Njoroge Advocate and you do not put your video, it's very hard for the court to really know, because there are so many Njoroge's advocates in the Law Society, and you really need to know you are Njoroge Mwaura or Njoroge Kariuki or something like that, and you write the word advocate, so that, and the court can visually see you, so that we remove the element of surprise or imposters, or even young advocates posing as advocates when they are not. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, so maybe now we could talk about now the process of logging into virtual courts. What should someone ensure as they're logging into the virtual courts?
Okay, thank you. When COVID came in 2020, that time I was in Mombasa in March. I remember 13th of March. And we started having discussions with between the bench and the bar, because as you all know, Mombasa Law Society is always at the forefront of looking for innovative ways of improving access to justice. And so and also the bench at Mombasa, we have this slogan that justice meeting technology, or technology meeting justice.
Okay.
Yeah, so we came together and we had a session where we started brainstorming on how to really improve access to justice, because at first the courts were closed, and we said because we have technology, we will not let the litigants or even Kenyans fail to access justice. And in one of the discussions, we said that we can have the Zoom platform. And I remember when I went home, I was thinking, how can I help the masses in coming up with a way to log in that will be effective, at the same time they will be comfortable with it. And I came up with a video. It has been circulating very much. I think it has gone viral, where I said about court etiquette during COVID. And in that video, I explained that once you have a smartphone, the first thing is you have to fully charge that phone. Yeah? You should not say it's 50%, then I can go to court. You should charge your phone at night, and in the morning it's 100% charged, then you leave to go to court. Then the other bit is that smartphone, you are supposed to have it having downloaded all the applications that are required in court. I remember I had to help my client download the Zoom application on the phone, because they need a registration. You have to even create an email address for the client and all that. So this is a short process, but it's very enjoyable when you get the application in your smartphone. Then the other one is the Microsoft Teams application. Again, you have to download it in your smartphone. If you have a lot of content in your phone, you'll have to delete some applications that you do not use, so that you can have these two vital applications in place. Then there's another one called Go to Meeting application. Those three are very essential for the court sessions that we are going to have, because some courts are using Zoom, others are using Microsoft Teams, and others are using Go to Meeting, like the Court of Appeal. So the first thing is you download those applications. Then in the Zoom, let me use Zoom for the purpose of this explanation. In Zoom application, there are many features, and one of them is the Zoom application will ask you whether to put the video on or the audio on. And many people face a challenge where they can log in with the video, but they have not put in the audio. It's very important to see those prompts that the phone will show you, and you will be able to say, do you want to join with video or without video? And I've said in the court, because of the virtual nature of it now, you have to put your video on. Not unless the court has told you can switch off the video, then it's very important you put it on. So there is every bit of the prompts that you get, but you should not ignore them. So the first one is about putting your video on, and the other one is putting your audio on, because you need to be heard by the advocate on the other side, or your client, if you are doing a full hearing virtually. At the same time, you want to also communicate to the court, and the court has to hear you. So the first two are those ones, the video and the audio. Then in the Zoom area, you know the space for the video, there is something we call the background, effects. Sometimes they ask you whether you can choose a background effect. You see, like you can find somebody like it's in the beach, or it's in a forest, or they are within a river where there's a bridge. There are so many features that whatever. I would advise that you do not choose those features, those background features. You just place where you are, because the court actually has to see you as the person. And those features sometimes, like when we started, I had one where there was beach and there were palms, and the court was just one time the court was asking me, are you in the beach? And you're supposed to be in a courtroom. And I quickly had to change it, because you see, once we download the Zoom application, you get excited by those background effects, and they do not look so professional. You have to really change them and make sure that your background is good. Then about also the Zoom application, how to log in. Before you log in, make sure your background is clear, like the way I have here is clear. Then you also make sure that you are in a silent place, like today. We are in a very silent place. You can't, nobody can hear anything. You know, there are those backgrounds where you have babies crying, somebody waking up, somebody cooking, somebody moving, they are moving chairs, or even discussing about another file. You know, advocates have been caught in these Zoom applications with people sharing or giving instructions for other files. So you really have to be mindful, you know, and alert that you are getting into a courtroom and you put yourself in that kind of setting. Yes. And then the last bit is about voice projection, because when you put the video on and your audio is on, again, you should not lean like this, or you do like this, or move this way, or go this way. You know, there are many maneuvers people are making in the application, such that it distracts even the people who are in court. So it's very important, if you are not, it's not your time to speak, or your matter is not reached in the course list, because we have a course list. We have matters are usually listed. You know, there's mentions, and then the applications, and then the hearings. So if your matter is a hearing and you have logged in, you can just switch off you know, there's a place of putting off the video, and then you let it be, and you wait until for your turn, because you'll still be having the audio on. You'll be able to hear what is happening, so long as the audio, you can still also put it off. Yeah, so you'll still be able to hear. So the Zoom application has come actually to facilitate access to justice, because you can work from anywhere, so long as you have those settings I've said. You can work from your office, you can work from a friend's place, you can work, you know, in different locations, so long as you are able to communicate to the court and in a good setting. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And I remember there's something also you're talking about, positioning yourself. You know, someone should, the face of someone should be visible. It should not be like, maybe it's only until the nose, you know. The position of the camera should be okay, right?
Yeah, it's very important, because when on the phone at the top, maybe you can give me your phone. At the top here, you have the cameras. You have the cameras here. So when you are holding the phone, you should always, addressing the court, you should always address the court when your phone is up like this, so that you can actually look straight on the particular camera. If it's a laptop, the same thing. You should not put it up like this or down like this, on the side or something like that. You will not be able to be seen by the court. But if you put it directly on your face like this, you will be able to be seen. And that way it will be able to give you a good view of the courtroom, at the same time of yourself. Because there's some people, they are only seeing the chin, they are seeing the nose, they are seeing the hair, they are seeing the chest only, you know, or even they cannot be seen. And the court sometimes takes a lot of time telling the counsel, I cannot see you. And I really am urging the advocates to try their very best to set up their equipment before the court session starts. Because the interruption is too much and it's taking a lot of time. Then the other bit is also, because these gadgets we are using, they can fail. You should always have two phones, or even a laptop and a phone, or a laptop with a tablet, so that in case one document, whatever, fails, you can be able to quickly get to another one and say, Your Honor, the document is in this particular gadget, and I'm able to access it. Then the other bit I wanted to say is on still on the Zoom. The good thing, even if you cannot be heard, the good thing is a chat function. You know, there's a button where you see, like in the phone or the laptop, there are features there about the audio, there's about the video content, and about sharing the content, and also more. If you click on more, you'll be able to find that there are other functions, and one of them is a chat function. In case you cannot be heard by the court, instead of keeping on saying, Your Honor, I can't hear you, Your Honor, I can't hear you, Your Honor, can you hear me now? You know, you can actually write there and say, I'm having a challenge with the internet fluctuations or other things, and I would like to say my position in this matter like this. So if you write in the chat function, your colleague will be able to see, or the other person you have in the matter you'll be able to see, and even the court assistant will be able to assist you. So it's very important to avoid this, Your Honor, I can't hear you, Your Honor, can you hear me now, unless it's really necessary.
Okay.
Yes.
So maybe what would you term as disrespectful behavior, especially in the virtual court setting, or also maybe even then when there are no virtual courts? What could you say is disrespectful behavior before the court?
One of them is making noise. You know, it's actually irritating, and it's totally unacceptable. Because like in some courts, you would get somebody, when they're leaving the courtroom, they pull the seat makes noise, you sort of like put your ears or your hands on the ears, and you're like, was that really necessary, you know? And again, another disrespectful behavior is talking when another person is talking before the court. You know, those objections, sometimes somebody can just shout from nowhere, and you wonder, this is a courtroom, you need to just wait for your turn, and the court is here to, as an arbiter, to really listen to you, and it's a neutral place where you're supposed to actually allow decency, allow civility to take place. So in the virtual courts, actually we have seen the most annoying is the issue of moving the videos. You know, somebody can be in a car and they want to address the court, and maybe their windows is down. Then as they are talking, a rolly passes or something like that, something screeching, or even he breaks the, you know, it sort of like breaks, because you see, when you are traveling, you find that the internet, you know, fluctuates. So you'll find that here you could be heard well, and then after some time you can't hear you. So it's really irritating, because you have to take time, and you know, the court is also very patient to wait for you so that you can be able to be heard. So if you are in a car, you should be able to stop that car and actually address the court, and if really it's that necessary to be in that car, before you can actually say, I'm going to be driving, at the same time address the court, just because it's a mention, or it's an application, or it's a consent we want to file. It's very important to give the court the respect it deserves, because it shows that you respect other people's time, you respect their ability to have prepared to come to court, and also you are keen to see the dispute resolved. Yeah. The other disrespectful behavior is the fact that some people, like I said before, they put their video and audio on, and they are talking about other matters, or even children are crying at the background, or things are being strewn, or you are being seen, you know, like taking a tour of your office, and maybe there are files all over. It's very important to have decency, yeah, and a lot of care before you can say, I'm logging into the court. The other also disrespectful behavior is the way when you are leaving the courtroom, the virtual courtroom, you should not leave with your video on, because you will see you moving like this, and maybe that time you are addressing a particular person is addressing the court. You should switch off your video, switch off your audio, and leave quietly. Yeah, that will show that you are honorable, that you are able to care for the others who also have matters after you. Yes, the other disrespectful behavior is shouting. There are people who are shouting until you wonder, what is the problem? What is the problem? And the bit about shouting is, maybe the person who is shouting does not know that they are shouting. So everybody else in the courtroom is being irritated except that particular person. So there is issue of checking your gadgets again to see whether the volume is there or not. Or even people, the opposite is the same. Somebody talking so low, you can't even hear the words. And the court has to keep on saying, speak up, counsel, speak up, Joroge, speak up, Maura, you know. So it is very important to check your phone, whether you reduced your volume or maybe your phone on silent. And then also the issue of somebody speaking and then their audio is off. The court has to keep on saying, your video is off, your audio is off, counsel. Can you please, you are muted. You know, people mute themselves and then they want to speak. So there's every bit of trying to really accommodate, at the same time try to move the matters faster. Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so maybe what could you say is your parting shot on the issue of court etiquette? Because at least today we've been able to tell advocates now that the COVID era is there, we still have to maintain some type of decency in court. We should ensure that the same standards we applied when there was physical court, we apply them. So what could be your parting shot to the bar and also the bench as we end this issue of court etiquette, the virtual court etiquette?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. So because I know there are many challenges about this accessing the virtual courts because of the gadgets someone may have, the issue of bundles, the data bundles, and the internet stability or instability thereof, and the issue of location. So it's important to know what is available for you. I know some courts have established what we call internet kiosks. So you can be able to go, if you are a litigant or even a young lawyer who needs an office, you can go there to the internet kiosks. I know even FIDA has started also such centers where they provide the internet and a safe room where you can be able to have your court session without any kind of interruption. So that's the first thing. Or even colleagues, if somebody has an open space where the young advocates need to come and use the particular room so that they can be able to be seen properly with proper lighting. Actually, another disrespectful behavior is improper lighting. You are just see image and somebody is saying, I'm here, your honor, and you are just seeing images.
For dark people like us, you should have proper lighting.
You have to have proper lighting. I had forgotten that one. So the issue is we need to help one another so that we can share resources, so that if you are in a dark place and you know you have a matter, please just find a way where you can be able to get into a quiet place. The bit about is minimizing the time, because time is a very limited resource. It's minimizing the time you log in and get your services and you leave. Then the other bit is apart from FIDA, the courts providing, advocates are very generous people, so we can co-share and find the space to be in court, as opposed to saying, your honor, I can't hear you, and then maybe the matter is adjourned for another day just because the internet was unstable, and yet there are organizations and law firms that are able to help you log in and log out when need be. Yes.
So thank you so much, Madam Christine, for teaching us about virtual court etiquette, because it's actually applicable regionally and across, you know, boards, because now, of course, we can't approach court physically, but we still need to adjudicate on our disputes, you know, and have our disputes resolved in the most amicable way. So it was nice having you.
Thank you.
And of course, I look forward to making more videos with you like this. And I hope my viewers have been able to be educated more on how to, even as a lay person, approach court. Thank you.
Thank you so much.